Hi, let's take a look at this new Freewell K2 kit that was just announced on Indiegogo. I'm going to tell you the general information and the specs, my pros, and the last portion will be the cons. First off, when you open this new kit here, you have all the different filter adapters. When you pull up like this, you see them. So that's for all the major filter threads. You have 82, 77, 72, and 67. You can order additional different sizes if you need to. I personally ordered the 58 as well for my video lens, my cine lens from Samyang. But these are the main filter thread sizes that you will get for the adapter. So the way this works is pretty straightforward, actually. All you have to do is you put the adapter on the front element of your lens, on the filter thread, and you just put it on. You have two little things here that you press that allows you to put it on, and you let go and it will be on your camera. So that is pretty simple. You then have two little red screws on both sides like so, and these are basically used to allow the filter to move around, and once you have it in place you can screw them so that it stays there. That is mainly for the filters that you put in front, which I will tell you more about in a moment, but there you go. These filters have true color technology. What that is basically it avoids having color casts on your final images, and it keeps the colors as they were or as true as possible to what was there on the scene when you shot your footage. So what's in the box? On one side, you get a 1 to 5 stop ND filter. This is magnetic. They're all magnetic. So just plop it on and off you go. And at that point, you can turn it around. It's variable like any VND 1 to 5. Now, if you turn this around, you will get a CPL, a circular polarizing filter. For those that don't know what a polarizing filter does, it basically cuts reflections of light on non-metallic surfaces, and it also helps make foliage a bit more green, a little more, a bit more saturated and more contrasty. So you get that on the other side of the filter. If you take the other filter they give you, on one side, you get a 6 to 9 stops ND filter. So on those really bright days when you want to open your aperture as much as you want, you can do so thanks to this filter. And if you flip that around, you get an ND32 plus a CPL. The reason they added the CPL is simply because an ND32 does not change. So when you turn it around, it will change the direction of light and polarize the light. So those are the ND filters that you get, the magnetic side of things with this kit. Now they did implement a way of putting more filters in front of your element, and that is simply by lifting these two little handles here, which I thought at first that it was handles to, hold it, but I believe this is not the purpose. Maybe it is, I don't know. But anyways, when you open that, you can slide some filters through where the arrows show up here, and that way you can apply some interesting effects. So the first one here, we have a blue streak. Blue streak, what it does is basically it emulates what an anamorphic lens would do. So when you have a strong source of light coming through the lens, it will give you those blue streaks, horizontal lines that look a bit sci-fi and whatnot. So that is what the blue streak filter does. It is interesting if you're not using an anamorphic lens and you do want that, sci-fi look. It can be very useful. The next one here is a snow mist 1/4. So for those that don't know, the purpose of a snow mist is to add halos to the highlights, reduce the contrast, and soften skin details to make it a bit more, cinematic and a little bit softer. So same thing. You take this, you open the two little handles, as I call them, right here, and you slide it in like so. And that's going to cover the full area, no matter the size of your lens, no matter the filter thread, everything will be covered up to 82 millimeters. Last but not least, we have a hard grad ND. So as you see here, as I'm showing you, the purpose of a grad ND, a hard grad ND, is because you have this harsh line in the middle, and you basically put it on the horizon line of the footage you're shooting. And what it will do is it will make the sky darker and the rest normal. That way you can control the skies a little bit better, especially on bright, sunny days. It gives you a little bit more of a flexibility in your footage. So there. These are the main things you will get with this package. The box itself, when you have all the adapters and the filters in it, weighs around 500 grams, so half a kilo, which is not too bad. Let's now talk about the pros, the thing that I personally liked when using this system. The most obvious thing, and I would say general thing is the fact that this is a very versatile type of system. You can use it for a lot of things. It's an all-in-one package. So if you need any or all of these different features, you will have everything into one package. The other thing is the attention to details that Freewell puts into their things, such as, for example, the fact that, well, it is magnetic, so you can put this guy straight on it magnetically. It will not come out because the magnets are strong, so don't worry about that. And there are other things, such as, for example, these little guys here have magnets as well. So when you close, it just, closes properly and it stays shut with magnets. So that's, again, a cool little detail. Another thing here is this little strap that you can just pull up and your filter comes up by itself. So it makes it even easier to use. Another little detail that I noticed, for example, is the fact that in the back here, there's a little plastic sleeve where you can slide a name, like for what you're using, like the actual object that's inside, the actual filter. So for example, you can say, this is the hard grad VND, you put it in the back so you don't have to flip around and search for the filter that you need. And it's going to make you save some time. Let's now tackle the cons. So for the cons, the biggest and major con that I found personally is the size of the box, okay? This box is pretty when you have it on the shelf, you have it on the table, you want to show it to someone, or you go on set and you have it there, it's great. Now, when you actually need to use this, the thing is, it's not very flexible. So yeah, it does fold a little bit, but when you have the things inside, it won't. And it's very boxy. So when you have to put it in your bag, it will take that much space, The thing is, I don't know if I always need to have all my my adapters for different filter threads. I mean, usually you use one, maybe two. So in that case, you don't really need to have them all with you at all times. You can always put them in a separate little pouch or something that doesn't take space. And that way, the box could be reduced by half. So that is the first con. The other thing is I find the filter size to be a little too big. In fact, when you have to change the strength of the ND. I have small-ish hands, so it's not easy necessarily to, do this compared to a smaller setup, such as the one they had before that offered this little tiny filter thread. So yes, obviously here you have the advantage that the size will cover all the filter threads. So no matter what's the size of your lens, the diameter, be it that you use an 82 or that you use a 58, you will be covered throughout the whole range. So that is a plus. If you're someone that has different filter thread sizes and diameters on different lenses, it can be useful because you can just, put the adapter on different lenses and all you have to do is swap between one and the other. So in that case, yes, I think the size is great. But if you're someone that uses smaller-ish filter threads, such as the ones I use, they're usually 67, maybe 72. In that case, I prefer having a dedicated smaller ND filter. The last point is the little red screws that you see here to keep the lens in place and make it not spin anymore, to keep it there. They're a little bit thin and I feel like they're not very resistant. I mean, time will tell. I only had it for a few weeks, so I don't know. But if you're someone that uses it regularly, once or twice a day, they might break sooner than later. So that is another little detail. Now, my personal opinion about this setup is I think it is a great system. I think they did a good job in terms of build quality overall, quality for, like the details and all that stuff. The image quality is good, and that is probably the most important point of this review. So I wasn't disappointed at all with that. Now, if you're someone, like I said, that uses smaller lenses or filter threads, I would go for a regular, even their smaller kit from Freewell, that worked very good. It's also magnetic, but it is less bulky. And if you're someone that needs those extra filters or whatever they're going to release in the future, then this is a kit for you. I hope I answered all your questions. Do consider subscribing if you didn't do it yet, because, you might find my future videos useful. And I see you, like always, in the next one. Take care. Cheers.